Montreal Canadiens options for trading Casey DeSmith. Hello Montreal Canadiens fan, great to have you here. Today we are going to do an in-depth analysis of the player situation, but before we continue, leave your like on the video to help us. It was far from a great trade from an asset management point of view, especially when we consider the Canadiens retained 50% of Petrie's salary. However, at the very least, it should help improve the perception of the franchise among NHL players. Hughes also discussed the possibility of trading goaltender Casey DeSmith, who was acquired in the three-way trade that saw Erik Karlsson head to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Simply put, finding a home for DeSmith won't be easy, and Hughes knows it. I spoke with Casey and Jeff when the trade went down, said Hughes. Casey was in a situation in Pittsburgh that was too busy with for goalies. He arrives to the Montreal Canadiens in a situation that also has for goalies. I told Casey to be patient, the goal is not to bury you in the American Hockey League. We will continue to look at possible trades or to make some changes. But it'll take patience with the goalie market, it's always slow. Not only is the market slow, but as we've established, the returns for goalies in NHL trades are also limited, to say the least. That leaves Hughes in a rather difficult situation. Most teams don't need another goaltender, and if they do, they generally aren't interested in paying an arm and a leg to acquire them. There are simply too many goaltenders available and too few spots to accommodate them. DeSmith is in the final year of his contract, which comes with a salary cap of $1.8 million. A quick look around the NHL reveals there are a few teams that could have some interest in a player like DeSmith, though the options are few and far between. Following a trade. If a team like the Boston Bruins ends up trading one of their fantastic goaltenders to bolster their center depth, they could be in the market for a reliable backup. This should be considered a long-shot option for the Habs, not only because there needs to be movement before a deal can occur, but also because historically, the Canadiens and the Bruins do not engage in trade talks. The Anaheim Ducks may end up needing a goaltender, especially since there were rumblings John Gibson wanted to move on. They currently have Lukas Dostal and Alex Stalock signed to contracts, which mitigates the chances they'll want a goaltender like DeSmith. The key for the Canadiens in this situation is that the Ducks may want to add some depth if they do move Gibson, given that a Stalock-Dostal tandem is likely to struggle throughout the year. Both the St. Louis Blues and the Tampa Bay Lightning have their starting goaltenders in place, but their backup goaltender situation leaves something to be desired. The Philadelphia Flyers are also in a tough situation due to the Ivan Fedotov situation in Russia. The IIHF ruled in favor of the Flyers, deeming that Fedotov violated his NHL contract by signing with CKSA, but as it stands, he's currently playing preseason games in the KHL. A team like the Ottawa Senators could stand to improve its goaltending depth by replacing Anton Forsberg with DeSmith, but they're already paying Joonas Korpisalo $4 million per season, not to mention $2.75 million per season for Forsberg. There isn't much financial maneuverability to be had when discussing their goaltending options. The San Jose Sharks are definitely in need of a goaltender, at least from a performance standpoint. Right now they have Mackenzie Blackwood and Kaapo Kähkönen signed to deals, and neither have produced good numbers lately, but the Sharks aren't exactly in a hurry to compete, especially not next season. And finally, the Columbus Blue Jackets have Daniil Tarasov as their expected backup heading into next year. As it stands, the options to trade DeSmith to an NHL team that will use him are quite limited. What will be the fate of Casey DeSmith? What would be the best option for him? Leave your opinion in the comments, I'd love to know what you think. And stay tuned to the channel because I'm always posting the latest news. Subscribe so you don't miss anything.